I told Jordan I needed space, sunlight, and spontaneity. He blinked once, walked to the junk drawer, and handed me a Sharpie and blue painter's tape. "If you're leaving," he said, steady like a level on drywall, "label your boxes." That's how it started. Not a screaming match, not a dramatic suitcase roll down a hallway, just my husband handing me tools while I reached for freedom like it was on sale. I'm 29. We'd been married 3 years. Somewhere between our Costco membership and our dog's probiotic subscription, I convinced myself I had skipped an era I deserved. Group chats named HGS kept dinging, boat days, rooftop bars, girls' trips, outfits that looked allergic to sleeves. Meanwhile, Jordan woke at 5:30, ran without posting about it, and left for his project manager job where he wore safety goggles more often than suits. He could fix a leaky sink with a YouTube video and 3 zip ties. He is the kind of steady that doesn't trend. On a Tuesday in May, one of my friends sent a reel that said, "You're not stuck, you're just comfortable," and I decided those were the same thing. The next night, after we emptied the dishwasher in practiced silence, I said the sentence people put in their mouths when they want to try selfishness on and need it to sound enlightened. "I need to find myself." He didn't argue. He did something worse for my pride. He believed me. He pulled a composition notebook from a shelf, he keeps lists for the lists, and wrote, "Separation logistics," at the top. "I'll move to my brother's for a bit," he said. "You can keep the apartment until the lease is up in October if you want it. We'll split the savings 50-50. I'll remove myself from the joint credit card, you open your own account. The car's in my name, but you've been making the payments. Refinance it if you want to keep it. I'll keep Milo unless you insist, he does better with my schedule. If, after summer, you want to work on the marriage, call me. If not, we'll talk to a mediator." He slid the notebook to me like a menu. My fantasy had never included a checklist. My fantasy had included him begging, or raging, or confessing a secret that would let me feel like a feminist for leaving. Instead, he built me an off-ramp with guardrails. I moved out on a Sunday. Post-it notes bloomed on our stuff, kitchen. Nina, donate, garage. Jordan. He carried my boxes without commentary, named each one like an airline pilot, shoes. Bathroom. Books. "You're a menace." At the door, he scratched Milo's head, kissed his nose, and said, "Be good," which made me cry harder than any speech would have. I moved into a downtown 2-bedroom with Lauren, the kind of friend who can monologue a brunch reservation into a personality. We hung a disco ball in the living room. We made a summer list on the fridge: Lake Day, Farmers Market, Austin City Limits, Nashville Weekend, try the tiny restaurant that only takes 6 reservations, buy tickets at the door just for the story, learn to like tequila. I went out. God, did I go out? I learned the names of bartenders and the difference between dress codes and lighting. I perfected a face that said, "I'm unavailable but flirt with me anyway." I became the girl in Boomerangs, the friend who always knew where the late-night food truck was, the woman who could book a sunrise Pilates class with conviction and cancel it with grace. I slept until 10, ate watermelon over the sink, and used my kitchen for making ice. Jordan did not comment on any of it. He liked exactly one thing, a photo of me and Milo when I came to pick up a box I forgot. He texted, "He misses your terrible singing," and I cried in a parking garage while a Subaru beeped at me to move. It should have been bliss, that first month. It looked like it. But bliss is work. You have to feed it content. I noticed that my wins only felt like wins when I posted them. And the moments I didn't post felt like cardboard. Light, flimsy, easy to dent. Two things cracked me. The first was dumb. On a Thursday, my boss, who follows exactly 3 people on Instagram, commented on a video of me dancing on a bar rail in a dress that required double-sided tape and optimism. She reacted with a clapping emoji, which is better than a clock emoji, God forbid, but it read like a file name, noted. On Friday, she asked me to present at a client meeting and then kindly suggested I switch my profile to private if I wanted to curate my brand. Corporate America is polite. It still has eyes. The second was mean because a truth told itself. Late June, Lauren and I hit a day drinking thing that turned into a somebody's friend's boat thing. The sun ate my judgment. A guy with arms like he built his biceps out of protein powder and vanity handed me tequila and said, "Where's your man?" I said, finding himself, too fast. He laughed like he'd found the smear of lipstick on the rim of a glass I was pretending was clean. "Hot girl summer with a husband," he said. Bold. I laughed along, because the story you tell at sunset must be fed or it turns on you. Back at the apartment, the mirror was unkind in the way only mirrors at 2 a.m. can be. I looked like a reenactment of the word, sticky. That same night, Jordan Venmo'd half the last electric bill with a little house emoji. I almost wrote, "Thank you," back and then realized how absurd that was, like thanking someone for breathing. We were still married. We were acting like roommates who didn't talk. July was the kind of hot that made the city smell like a rumor. I drove to our old complex to pick up a package I'd accidentally routed there. I planned to be cool, breezy, him citing optional. His truck wasn't in its spot. When I walked up the stairs, I heard music. Milo's Chill Dog playlist Jordan used to put on when he left. Inside, the place was arranged, plants thriving, couch where it always was, ring holder gone from the dish. On the counter, a bowl of cherry tomatoes and a note. Not for me, for himself. Thursday, run 5:30, take Milo to vet at 8, call about refinance, dinner with Ben, stretch, bed early. Don't text Nina unless logistics. I crushed the note back into the bowl like the cherry tomatoes might absorb it. "I'll bring the package down," he said behind me, and I jumped. He looked good in that infuriating, clean man in a t-shirt way. Hair trimmed, eyes clear. He smelled like detergent and basil. He handed me a box that weighed shame. "How's your summer?" he asked. Friendly. Not flirting. Not pitying. Busy, I said, stupidly proud that I could skate atop a word like that and not fall in. "Yours?" "Orderly," he said, and smiled like that was his favorite adjective. I told myself I still had time. Isn't that the lie we drink? That you can take more than you give and someone else will keep the seat warm? Austin city limits hit like weather. We posted. We danced. We lost a sandal and gained a sunburn. On Sunday night, in a haze of dust and music, I realized I had not laughed. Not really laughed. The way I laugh when someone who knows me says a small, perfect thing. My jokes were performant. My smiles were for the camera. The women around me seemed to be having a genuinely good time. I seemed to be having a professionally good one. I went home and scrolled our wedding photos. I don't mean I admired them. I audited them. Jordan in his navy suit, eyebrows doing that quiet, earnest thing. Me in white, somehow both softer and bolder than I am in real life. My vows looked like they were written by a woman who believed herself. I hated her for being better than me and loved her for leaving me a breadcrumb trail. I texted him. Can we talk this week? Not about logistics. He replied in 5 minutes. Wednesday at 7. Public place. I arrived at a taco place that gives out numbers printed on cards with band names. He had number 27. The Cure. Of course. He'd ordered me a topo and himself a beer. He set a sheet of paper on the table like a polite boundary. Before you say whatever you came to say, he said, 2 things. First, I'm not here to be mean. Second, I'm not here to climb back into a relationship where I'm auditioning for my own part. I miss you, I said, and it came out like a dropped dish. I miss that you notice Milo needs his nails trimmed without me asking. I miss that you don't text while crossing streets. I miss your stupid, perfect grocery lists with the dots drawn too meticulously. I thought I needed this summer to prove something. I proved it. I hate it. He listened the way men listen when they have already decided not to interrupt. I hear you, he said. I'm not coming back. It wasn't cruel. It was clean. He didn't bring up my bar rail video or the boat or the guy with arm vanity. He didn't talk about promises and vows and the disrespect of Instagram. He summarized instead. You wanted space. You were honest about it. You took it. I gave it to you. I built a fair lane to return in. You didn't drive in it. I'm not going to hold the door while you decide if the party inside is better than the party outside. I'm decent, Nina. I'm also done. I can fix it, I said, hating the whine in my voice. I can delete everything, I can. It's not your posts, he said. It's your posture. I am not a place you come back to when your feet hurt. That night, I lay on our couch that was no longer ours and realized he had been winning the whole time by refusing to play. He didn't argue when I needed my performance, he didn't make a speech when I needed silence, he didn't try to make my choices look worse so his would look heroic. He simply set terms and lived by them. August softened. The group chat stayed loud, but my replies got quieter. A girl I knew got a DUI and suddenly, summertime in the city, looked like paperwork. My boss asked if I wanted to lead a new client account and my stomach flipped like a gymnast because the answer was yes, genuinely, without a PR angle. I set my profile to private, not because I was embarrassed, fine. Because I was, but because the version of me I needed to become didn't require an audience. I met Jordan once more, in a mediator's office that smelled like coffee and hand sanitizer. We did not hire dueling lawyers to cosplay war. We sat at a round table while a retired judge explained that no-fault divorces are mostly math and manners. We split what there was to split. I didn't push for the couch. He didn't push for my grandmother's tea set. We agreed he'd keep Milo because his schedule and the dog's anxiety made more sense together. I cried when I signed because pens feel heavier when you're not performing. When it was over, he walked me to the elevator and pressed the down arrow. The door opened and he didn't make a joke. He didn't touch my elbow. He said, "Take care, Nina," which is a whole sentence if you let it be. He started dating in October. I know because someone we both know posted a pumpkin patch group photo and there he was, holding a thermos and smiling next to a woman with librarian glasses. She looked like she wears socks that match and remembers to bring snacks for everyone. I closed Instagram, walked to the mirror, and told my face, we had our turn. I'm not going to tell you I found myself. I'm not a ring light. I can tell you what I stopped doing. I stopped performing grief and started feeling it. I stopped measuring fun and proof and started measuring it in how I felt the next morning. I stopped imagining that dignity is a costume you put on when the world is watching, it's what you wear when no one is. Sometimes, when the weather is right, I drive by our old trail. I park, run. Badly, red-faced, one headphone in. And let the muscle memory carry me past the bench where we used to sit with coffee. I don't take a picture. I don't tag the location. I just run until my lungs remind me I'm still in here. People ask, because people always do, if I regret hot girl summer. I regret the posture, not the activities. I regret treating my marriage like a coat check. I regret acting like space is a currency you demand instead of a room you build together. Jordan won. He won by refusing to supervise me. He won by handling logistics like love. Quietly, fairly, with more care for the collateral than for his pride. He won by not auditioning for a role I should have handed him, and by walking away when I didn't. He didn't drag me online. He didn't whisper to mutuals. He didn't turn into a folk hero or a meme. He made a list, labeled his boxes, and left me with what I said I wanted, space big enough to hear myself. Turns out, when you finally get it, your own voice is the only soundtrack left. It's not as catchy as a reel, but it's honest. And it sounds a lot like a man saying, label your boxes, while he holds the tape.